One thing that did become clear from the census data released this week was the ongoing drift of workers away from China's manufacturing sector and towards the service sectors and its fast-growing delivery and ride-hailing industries. Does that mean the manufacturing sector is in trouble? And can we expect the trend to continue? To explore those questions and more, I sat down earlier with Li Wei, Senior China Economist at Standard Chartered Bank. Li Wei, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Let's start with the latest NBS figures. We've seen that from 2008 to 2018, the number of people in China's manufacturing sector has decreased by more than 2.8%, and a lot of the shift seems to have been to the services sector. Is this just, people wanting to deliver Waimai and deliver, parcels, or is there a more fundamental shift going on? Are they moving elsewhere?
I think this is largely a consequence of economic development. I think there's more jobs than just the delivering foods or driving taxis in the service sectors. At this stage of China's economic growth, I think the service sector is about to further increase from around 54% of GDP at the end of last year towards maybe 16% or 65% in the years to come. So I think to a large extent, this is just a natural consequence of economic development and social development. And before China reach the level of a developed economy, we continue to expect a bigger growing service sectors to draw more jobs from the manufacturing sectors to the service sectors. And also that means China's growth model become more diversified, less reliant on manufacturing investments and more reliant on the service sectors and also private consumptions.
Because the latest census results also show an aging population. That is going to present some difficulties for the more traditional Chinese industries, particularly the manufacturing sector.
I do agree with you that China no longer in the position of capable of supplying at least cheap, affordable, and also equally sufficiently productive young laborers going forward. Innovation, productivity growth, technology advancement become more important for China to sustain growth. To put it differently, in the past 4 decades, growth in China was closely tied to the demographic advantage, such as surplus supplies of cheap labors. But going forward, growth in China will be more reliant on innovations and productivity growth. So that is what the demographic changes telling us.
And if we look at the pace of change, is China's manufacturing sector contribution to GDP and the size of the sector, is that slowing down? Is that being reduced faster than we saw in other major economies?
I won't necessarily say so, because if you look at the statistic data, then over the past 5 years, China's manufacturing sectors at the share of GDP fell only by 2 percentage points, but mainly because the service sector is gaining more rapidly, not because the manufacturing sector has stagnated. So I think you have to look deep into the underlying cause of the falling share of manufacturing sectors in China. As far as I'm saying, manufacturing investment, at least before the pandemic took place, was very solid, and innovation took place very fast. So I think manufacturing sector will continue to play a major role in driving China's economic growth going forward.
And let's have a look at the external environment as well, because what other countries do is going to matter in this space too. We've seen Europe and latterly the US trying to put more emphasis on bringing some manufacturing back onshore for them, re-onshoring industries that they offshored over the past 20 years. It has been said that China's days as the world's manufacturing hub are over. Is that true?
I don't think so. I think, of course, there's a growing concern regarding deglobalization. There's a growing signs of manufacturing reshoring to domestic, serving domestic market. But I think this is going to be a very slow trend. Which means China will still have a window to reshape its manufacturing advantages. So I think the environment has definitely changed. the demographic challenge will continue to rise, but given the capitals and human capitals China has acquired over the past 3 decades of economic development, there is a good chance that China can move up the value chain and become exporters and manufacturers of high value added products in the years to come. But of course, there is still a question mark over that. The key will be depending on the ability to continue to improve the business environment, continue to invest in research and invest in people, human capital. And clearly the state has realized that's very important for the future growth of China and has committed in the 14th five-year plan to do so. So let's see what's going to happen.
Li Wei, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.